Dwight H. Shepardson, from Reginald C. Foster, from Frank T. Ryan, OSS Chief. Subject: comments on memorandum on understanding of embassy and OSS in Spain. There are several provisions in this agreement I wish that I could comment on. Under functions, in paragraph 1, the following sentence appears: so as direct intelligence from Spain is concerned, SI operations will cover only such intelligence as may be required as agreed upon ambassador of the military and naval attaches, or be required of Joint Chiefs of Staff with the concurrence of the State Department. It is to be noted that a provision of the sentence requires the concurrence of the State Department as any request of the OSS by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. This requirement, I believe, infringes on the basic principle of the OSS as an intelligence organization, which, as I understand it, is to serve as the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the independent gatherer of strategic information. That is to say, the OSS as the character of the purpose of securing intelligence from the other existing sources, namely State, ONI, and G2. Paragraph 6 under the functions reads as follows: the OSS in Spain will not become involved in any activities embarrassing to the embassy. The decision as to what is to be determined embarrassing rests upon the ambassador, which is to be informed of the nature of the activities which the OSS engages or plans to in Spain. This provision fails to comprehend the nature and the duties of an intelligence organization, which by the very nature are liable in the course of the activities to create embarrassments. The law of the country cannot be broken without embarrassment. The ambassador fails to, at which point he shall be embarrassed. Sir Samuel Hoare, a British ambassador, will become embarrassed. The scan which will become the intelligence operations, which doesn't embarrass easily. Relatively minor happenings, which to be treated as very lightly by the OSS in everyday occurrences, be embarrassing by Ambassador Hayes, thereby enabling him to be the provisions set forth by paragraph 6 under organization and personnel, reads as following: hence which cases ambassador has a reason to believe such certain individuals connected with OSS, and that his activities in Spain likely to cause embarrassment of the embassy. The director of the OSS in Spain will relatively minor happenings, which may be treated lightly by the OSS as everyday occurrences, may be embarrassing to Ambassador Hayes under organization and personnel, reading as following: hence in cases where the ambassador has a reason to believe that a certain individual is connected with the OSS, his activities in Spain may be likely to cause embarrassment to the embassy. Director of OSS in Spain will, upon ambassador's request, inform whether or not the individual in question is in fact connected with the OSS. Paragraph 1 under Organization and Personnel reads as follows: OSS in Spain is coordinating with the offices of military attaché and naval attaché, like them as part of the embassy. Each, as with these offices, is under a chief with deputies in it to keep the ambassador informed and to seek his counsel under and follow the general instructions. So as the director of the OSS in Spain has like duty. I believe the phrases to follow his general instructions should be deleted. It's quite possible that the instructions of the chief of the OSS mission in Spain may receive from time to time in Washington may be at variance with the instructions of the ambassador if he were to be authorized to issue following instructions. Paragraph 3 under Organization and Personnel reads as follows. The number of American agents now in Spain will, for the present, suffice with the SI work when the additional officer is added. Together with the finance officer, the code clerks and the stenographers, which needs for the embassy recognizes. The provision shall be amended as to read. The number of American agents now operating in Spain under the State Department will, for the present, etc., etc. Paragraph 1 under security will be amended to be read. The conduct of OSS personnel in Spain operating under cover of the State Department shall be subject to the proper discipline and sanctions. The paragraph is now stands to omit the phrase operating under State Department. Disciplining of OSS representatives under the private cover will, of course, be the responsibility of the Home Office of the OSS. Paragraph 4 under coordination will be read as follows. OSS agents operating or near the consulate will deal with the principal consular offices and will not be with any subordinate officer or employee that the consulate. Principal consular offices will cooperate in the affording protection for OSS personnel and documents. The paragraph shall be substantially changed or entirely eliminated, for as it now reads, that it provides that all OSS agents, without regard to nationality, should only with the principal consular office being the locality which he is operating. The intent of such provision should be to limit the contact between the responsible American OSS agent and the consular territory to the consular office in charge. Paragraph 5 under coordination reads as follows. The ambassador has been authorized by the State Department with the occurrence of the OSS to examine all incoming and outgoing correspondence transmitted through the embassy. He will exercise this right to the extent that he considers necessary. This paragraph is linked to the objections raised by provisions contained in paragraph 6 under functions. With authority to examine operational pouch material, the ambassador places himself in the position of knowing that the existence and perhaps identity of the private cover OSS representatives, and therefore enhances of his becoming embarrassed being greatly increased. The ambassador should in a position to disavow these private cover Americans, and this can most effectively be accomplished by his not knowing of their existence, which in turn can only be attained if the operational material of both incoming and outgoing pouches is deprived him. In general, it seems apparent from the agreement that has been submitted for ratification that the ambassador has succeeded in effectively shackling our Spanish mission so that it cannot function as an intelligence organization, must function to obtain maximum results. This opinion is further strengthened by paragraph 2 under functions, which I quote the following. It should be borne in mind that the ambassador has been authorized by Washington to give the most solemn assurances that the United States government and the Spanish foreign minister that none of our personnel in Spain has been engaged in activities that are directed against Spain. This provision indicates that major fundamental differences in conception between diplomatic manner of conducting intelligence and the OSS way. This may be further illustrated by Argus's cable message, in which I quote, according to the ambassador, who objects strongly to any effort by us to penetrate the Foreign Office, complete information on the subject, your -241 was forwarded to the department. One of the very first objectives of a good intelligence organization to penetrate the opposition's government. Among our first duties would therefore be by an effort to penetrate the Spanish Foreign Office. To me, it seems apparent by this agreement as drawn up establishes such a harmless and innocuous organization that even the Germans would not object to it. If we cannot operate according to the principles of our intelligence, well, we may as well abandon our efforts.